187 at 5810 Murata Avenue. Homicide wants you over there. The coroner thinks the broad was whacked using the Army morphine. Don't say anything, Roy. Just get over there. Same misgivings as your partner, Phelps? I don't want to hear it from you either. Get on with it.
I'm at a loss.
Let's get out to the scene before they bag her.
Come on, Roy.
Keep your shirt on. Here I come.
Prince, and he still confessed.
I don't have time for your song and dance right now.
Quit hassling me, detective. Isn't there work you should be doing?
Seems like a nice boy, putting all those hoodlums in jail.
Phelps, I think
I'm
it's
stumped.
needless.
Ideas?
Brought in the case of that poor lady killed near City Hall.
What now?
Let's get out to the scene before they bag her.
The nerve of some people.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Seem distracted. We recovered the morphine. Some of it might be unaccounted for, so what? That's life. We did our job.
Closing one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of LA forever, and we're wasting our time on some hump.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John and Jane Does are cremated. Their percentages. The odds for and against lightning striking. We'll need the scoop from the homicide
Apartment
boys
6,
and from Mal
in the
before we
back.
do anything else.
Thanks.
Classy lady. Swanky place. It's a shame. Real shame.
What do you think?
We'll need the scoop from the homicide boys and from Mal before we do anything else.
Mal will be pleased.
Well, that's hardly conclusive, given the number of those things we've come across recently.
The autopsy will confirm it one way or another.
Help me out.
We'll need the scoop from the homicide boys and from Mal before we do anything else.
Bukowski, you made homicide.
That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug? Or can we get on with it?
Relax, Rusty.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Advice?
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
Come on, Phelps. Even Roy looks like he's working. Get on with it.
I haven't got time to jaw, Cole. The captain wants me to make this case.
Any ideas?
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
You get lost and let me work? This broad was built to be photographed, even if she is dead.
Help me out.
Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
May I took a look?
Be my guest. Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly. Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Very good.
Very unusual ring.
Could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates. And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something. This is murder one. Get out there and find the guys who did it.
So what next?
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
You get lost and let me work? This broad was built to be photographed, even if she is dead. Whew.
Quality English smoking jacket. I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one. Looks like barbiturates. What do you think?
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing? We should speak to a doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
Look, I got nothing to tell you, and I can't work with you under my goddamn nose every second.
You know I'm right, Phelps. This woman was murdered, and the killers need to be found.
I'll say hello to the skipper for you. For now, follow up on the narco angle.
Back to work, Phelps. I don't like the way this broad bought it. I want to get the guys responsible.
This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look. There's been a modeling assignment. It's a place to start. Beautiful girl. Her clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
I'm waiting, Roy.
Not right now.
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it. I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact.
Where are you going? I'm trying, officer. Please come back.
Come on, Phelps. Even Roy looks like he's working. Get on with it.
I haven't got time to jaw, Cole. The captain wants me to make this case.
What now?
You want to talk to the cleaning lady? Be my guest.
Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
What are you hiding here, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia was obviously disturbed about something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're off the hook. For now. Would she have killed herself for a man?
Miss Julie would never have killed herself. She was a very determined young lady. One of those people who shake the tree for all it's worth. Where are you going? I'm trying, officer. Please come back.
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Why are you lying to me, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia had men stay here.
I will not speak ill of the dead. You can't prove that.
If you don't ask, you never find out. Men friends, Mrs. Reynoldson. Spill it.
I will not spread gossip about Miss Julia. She was very nice to me.
I don't care if she was the Virgin Mary's sister. Who was she humping? You changed the sheets.
You're disgusting. If you're going to take that tone, I won't answer any more questions.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
You're hiding something, Mrs. Reynoldson. There's something about Julia's past that you don't want to tell me.
And how do you come to that conclusion, young man? What makes you think I know anything about her past?
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out. Do you do the housekeeping on a regular basis?
Twice a week since Miss Julie moved here from New York.
I know you're trying to protect Julia, Mrs. Reynoldson, but it won't help us solve the case. Julia can't be hurt anymore.
I think our work is done here.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
I say we check out the dress shop.
I was going to scrub the bathroom. And there she, floating. I really can't talk about this anymore.
Look, I got nothing to tell you.
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
You think Carruthers has called it right?
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm with Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Pigeons, which symbolize the 48 states and the District of Columbia taking part in the drive. The keys to the city from Mayor O'Dwyer go to
Bukowski, Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I noticed you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing up his lunch.
All units, officers need help. Hollywood and Highland. Hollywood and Highland officers need help. 211 in progress and shots fired. Unit to handle code 3, identify.
Any ideas?
We need to have words with the owner. Find out what kind of employee Julia Randall was.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning.
Was that all you wanted, officer?
How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
You weren't as shocked as someone normally is when told about a murder, ma'am. Is there something about Julia you want to tell me?
You're accusing me of lying? How dare you? What basis do you have for this kind of accusation?
Sorry. My mistake. We need information on anyone she might have been seeing. Maybe someone she met here.
I'm sorry, I don't know of anyone. If she was seeing someone, he must have had money. Julia would never be interested in any man who didn't have real money.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer. Heather, these gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you.
Don't go away, Detective. I want to know what this is about. Don't go away, Detective. I want to know what this is about.
How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Were Julia and Henry intimate before you started seeing him? Is there something you haven't told us, Miss Swanson?
How would I know whether Henry and Julia were close?
It's nothing personal. I'm just doing my job. You understand that? You know that Julia was using drugs?
A lot of girls in this business do. They keep you alert and kill your appetite. I'm against it, personally.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
Julia was kept by this Henderson character. The apartment, the clothes, the jewelry. Was she a call girl?
How would I know? What evidence is there that says that Julia is a prostitute?
Looks like I made a mistake. Look, lady, you need to give me something. Do you know anybody who would have cause to harm Julia?
No. Really, Mr. Phelps. Julia's my friend. I don't know why anyone would want to hurt her. She's okay, isn't she?
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Help me out.
You got any idea what office the guy is in?
Here, Stoneman, office 505. I'm stumped. Ideas?
Okay, time to grill the good doctor and get his story.
Roy, we're in a hurry.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Get a move on, Roy. Hoo-ah.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
I'm waiting, Roy.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Your partner is a creep, and you probably are too. I have nothing more to
Your
say to you.
investigation is much more important than my sciatica. I'm just in pain here. Leave me alone. Hurts to walk, hurts to sit down, and now I got policing riding me like I'm a criminal. Get lost.
What now?
Okay, time to grill the good doctor and get his story.
The main reason Santa's so jolly is because he knows where all the bad girls live.
So what next?
Okay, time to grill the good doctor and get his story.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so. You cleared my schedule for that? Clearly there's more, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
Julia Randall has been your patient for nearly a year. I'm sure you know that.
Do you doubt my veracity, Detective? Do you have access to my patient records?
Looks like I was mistaken. You didn't like her, did you?
It wasn't a question of like, Detective. She was incredibly beautiful. When you looked in her eyes, you knew how a mouse felt before a snake. Not an ounce of warmth there.
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
We believe Miss Randall died of an overdose of morphine. You didn't prescribe her anything else, did you?
That is a very serious allegation to level at a doctor, young man.
It's nothing personal. I'm just doing my job. You understand that? She didn't appear to have a weight problem.
She had a self-esteem problem. Miss Randall felt her only control over her life was through her appearance.
We often find the more obstructive people tend to be, Dr. Stoneman, the more they have to hide.
Can I ask you politely to go now? I have patients who need my help.
I'm at a loss.
Crime scene reports might be back by now. You should check for messages.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Messages, please.
Yes, Detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
If you will excuse me, I have patients to attend to.
Advice?
Sounds like Mal has our next contestant on the slab, Cole. We better get over there.
If you don't mind, I have patients to see too.
The main reason Santa's so jolly is because he knows where all the bad girls live.
Hurts to walk, hurts to sit down, and now I got policemen riding me like I'm a criminal. Get lost.
Come on, Roy.
All right, all right. The old boy's lying.
About what?
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. That's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
Crucial periods in the nation's history.
Have you noticed how croakers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
What do you think?
May as well get this over with. Let's go and hear Mal's fairy tale.
Any ideas?
May as well get this over with. Let's go and hear Mal's fairy tale.
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 cigarettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
Help me out.
We should see what we can shake out of Arnett while we got him in the interview room.
Contrary to what your partner thinks, I think the LeBlanc angle has wheels. You need to follow it up.
I'm waiting, Roy.
On my way.
Another time, huh? I want to make homicide. I mean, you know you.
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia. Really? That's everything you need? I have more for you, Detective. I'm sure of it.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
Come clean with us, Arnett. Was Miss Randall your mistress? Is that how she could afford such a lavish lifestyle?
That's a ridiculous allegation. How could you possibly prove that I paid for Julia's things?
Sorry. My mistake.
And you were close? We were friends.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Henry, I don't like when people lie to me. She was seeing a man named Henderson. You know who I'm talking about.
Easy on, Detective. I may have heard of Henderson, but I don't know his full name. I think he's from New York or someplace back east.
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out. Spill it, Henry. You know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I'm sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
I think you're lying. I think Randall was a high-priced hooker, and this Henderson character didn't want it to come out that he had been seeing her. I think he had LeBlanc and an accomplice bump her off. I think you know who Henderson is, and you're trying to conceal his identity.
I think you've been out in the sun too long without your hat. Prove that I know who Henderson is.
If you don't ask, you never find out. He's a career criminal lying dead next door. Educated man like you wouldn't consort with criminals, would you?
No, I would not.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
Hey, can you give me a hand? I got a hard case I need a break.
Some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
He's in that car at the lights.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
That ought to do it. Now get back in close.
Where are you taking us, Henry?
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
That's right, Mexico City. One-way ticket, please. Next available seat.
That would be 1 day from now. Is that okay?
It's going to have to be.
LAPD, the man who just came in here, he bought a ticket?
Yes, sir. To Mexico City, tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
What have you got?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City. Tomorrow night.
That's good. But this is better.
Oh my God. It's Fabergé.
Should have seen the look on the pawnbroker's face when I told him to hand it over. The guy who owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
Might be time to call in, Cole.
I have tickets to reserve and issue, if you don't mind.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. Detectives Bukowski and Galloway request you return to the Hollywood station. They have information in the Julia Randall case.
Any luck with the arrest record check on Jimmy LeBlanc?
Yes, Detective. Jimmy LeBlanc's last arresting officer was Patrolman Fred Wallace. He's posted the Hollywood 9th Beat Sunset Boulevard between Gordon and Wilcox.
Thanks.
If you're finished, sir, I have other customers to deal with.
What now?
We need to talk to the uniform and get the dope on LeBlanc.
I'm at a loss.
We need to talk to the uniform and get the dope on LeBlanc.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
A one-way ticket to Mexico. Old Henry's looking as guilty as a dog next to a pile of dog shit.
What's his motive?
I can think of a few, but I'd put my money south of the belt. One guy plus two dames always equals problems.
Come on, let's give him a hand.
Right behind you, Wallace. Detective Phelps.
Wallace, go left. I'm going right to this little fuck in the alley.
Clear, go! Throw out the guns. Give me some goddamn cover.
Thanks. Outstanding warrant, armed robbery. Knocked over a drugstore back there, and it looks like he brought his whole posse with him. Bad luck for them.
They're all yours now. We need some information.
Ever heard of a burglar goes by the name of Jimmy LeBlanc?
Sure. I nabbed Jimmy on a burglary beef a couple of years back. They cut through a music shop and into a jewelry store. He got 4 years. I miss his partner, though.
His partner?
Big guy. I had him cornered, and he picked up this huge display case and threw it out a plate glass window. Then he vaulted out of there like something out of Barnum and Bailey.
Got away.
I would have had him, except for LeBlanc yelling, "Run for it, Willie!"
And you think he was an acrobat of some sort?
More like a strongman, a wrestler, or a boxer, that kind of thing.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
You haven't done too badly yourself.
Advice?
Every career burglar has his name or his work on a daybook somewhere, Cole. Let's get back to the station. You're suggesting LeBlanc is still working with Willie?
A strong man held down Randall while someone administered the morphine. Someone with muscle opened up LeBlanc's skull. Could be.
Officer needs assistance, 1825 North Highland Avenue, 1825 North Highland Avenue. Unit to handle code 2 identify.
We caught up with Mal. He's given us the dope on LeBlanc.
He worked burglaries with a big guy. Goes by the name of Willie. He might be our killer. Can you work boxing gyms, the Y, promoters, that kind of stuff?
Since when have you started giving orders, Phelps? And where's the burglary angle? There was no sign of a...
That's where Arnett comes in. Next stop, we speak to Lacey about a list of recent burglaries.
The guy's a bum. His office is a front, and he's behind on the rent and his phone bill.
And he's skipping town tomorrow.
Let's get him in and beat it out of it.
Do you want to bring in the killer, Rusty?
It could be too smart for your own good, Phelps. We've been talking about that, haven't we, Roy? Stefan?
Finbar?
Sir, I need the contraband list. Items stolen over the last year.
Hang on, I'll dig out a copy for you. Here you go.
Thanks.
Is the cigarette case on there?
It's here. Arnett must be out of his mind trying to move this while under a murder cloud.
Julia Randall's ring. It's here.
Seems Julia wasn't the first bored society girl to hide her bennies in that pillbox. Even the engagement ring was purloined. Arnett is a cad.
Get to it, Phelps. Run your own errands. I'm busy.
What do you think?
Okay. We check out this Yvestrim broad and see if we can make the link between the burglars and Arnett.
Roy, we're in a hurry.
Keep your shirt on. Here I come.
So you and Rusty have been having discussions. Anything you would like to tell me, partner?
Phelps, don't be so touchy. Rusty had his best ever clearance rate working with you. Even if the cases he worked on can't be discussed. We were just comparing notes.
This is ACB.
You're a Booneroo case man, Phelps. One of the best I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Go to Washington now with national news.
You gotta learn to take a compliment, Phelps.
A hopped-up model, a cat, and a circus freak. Only in L.A.
Fairy tales of the rich and famous.
More like pathetic tales of the desperate to be rich and famous. Junkie Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Arnett, LeBlanc, and Willie.
Don't you go putting the pieces together again before they fit, Phelps. Listen to your old pal Rusty. Or should I say Finbar.
I wouldn't call him that if I were you.
What do you care? It doesn't sound like you're the top of his Christmas card list.
He gives everyone a hard time. That's just how he is.
Whatever gets you through the day, Cole.
Or interpreted as an attack on the industry itself. Associated with this great industry.
You're behind the wheel.
Of prominent motion picture witnesses appear before the committee. Speaking for the
Nice house.
LAPD, ma'am. Is Mrs. Yvestrim in?
She is. Would you follow me, sir?
I am Mrs. Yvestrim. How may I help you?
We appear to have recovered some stolen goods that belong to you, ma'am.
Yes, of course. That terrible burglary. Would you like something to drink?
No, thank you, ma'am. We have some questions, if you don't mind.
Why would I mind, young man, if you are returning 43 pieces of my property?
Okay, before we get down to that, I'll have a scotch. Thanks, straight up.
Maria, can you get the detective a drink, please?
Can you describe to us what was stolen?
It would be easier to describe what wasn't stolen, Detective. A priceless tiara that has been in the family for 50 years. A Fabergé cigarette case that was worth $25,000.
Why are you lying about the value of your jewelry, Mrs. Yvestrim?
Who do you think you are, making heinous accusations in my own home?
Looks like I made a mistake. So you have no idea who did this burglary? A lot of these cases tend to be inside jobs.
How dare you impugn my character and the character of my staff? If you have no further questions, I suggest you leave.
What can you tell us about the burglary?
A terrible night, at least a year ago. But let's not go into that. Let's talk about what you've recovered.
I think you know more about this burglary than you are letting on, Mrs. Yvestrim. There isn't an insurance claim involved, is there?
Are you accusing me of having my own home burgled? How dare you? What possible proof do you have for this scandalous remark?
You're off the hook. For now. I get the sense that you're worried about something, Mrs. Yvestrim.
I have already received the insurance claim, Detective. Is there any way we could keep the return of these items discreet?
We recovered a black sapphire ring.
A beautiful piece. It belongs to my daughter. Excuse me, come back here, Detective. You were telling me about my valuables.
I'm at a loss.
Speak to Mrs. Yvestrim, Cole. She'll know every item that went missing.
What can you tell us about the burglary?
A terrible night, at least a year ago. But let's not go into that. Let's talk about what you've recovered.
I think you know more about this burglary than you are letting on, Mrs. Yvestrim. There isn't an insurance claim involved, is there?
Are you accusing me of having my own home burgled? How dare you? What possible proof do you have for this scandalous remark? I would appreciate it if your friend finished his drink and the two of you left.
That's about it for now, Mrs. Yvestrim. The department will get in touch and let you know how you can recover your valuables.
You have only mentioned a few of the items that have been stolen, Detective. What else has been recovered?
You see, Phelps? That's why you get the drinks in early.
Hello, Mother. Hello, detectives. What is going on?
We'd like to ask exactly the same question.
You have met my daughter?
This morning at work. Oh, Mother and Father divorced. I took my father's name.
The detectives recovered some of the things that were stolen, darling.
Well, what did you find?
A sapphire ring on the corpse of Julia Randall.
What are you talking about?
Your engagement ring, Miss Swanson. Would you be surprised to know that it was part of the proceeds of a burglary?
That's an outrageous allegation.
Yes, it is. I suggest we go straight to Henry Arnett's place and sort this mess out.
We need to get to Arnett's apartment. The key to all of this.
Go and find my jewelry pieces and bring them back to me, Detective. It's very important. Each one is a memento from my dead husbands.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
We need to get to Arnett's apartment. He's the key to all of this.
All this talk has me considerably vexed, Detective. I'm sorry. You'll have to give me a moment.
Any ideas?
We need to get to Arnett's apartment. He's the key to all of this.
We're missing something here. Arnett is obviously arranging the burglaries.
That's my fiance you're making scurrilous accusations about.
And Randall was obviously his partner.
But neither of them are the type to creep apartments.
You're being ridiculous. Both of you. There's a very good explanation for all of this.
What is socking it, sister? You're being played for a patsy and you're not even smart enough to see it.
What do you think?
Come on, sister. Let's find out who your fiancé really is.
Help me out.
So he can't really help me.
Advice?
We need to get to Arnett's apartment. He's the key to all of this.
Please, not right now.
Come on, Roy.
On my way.
Welcome, sir.
I'm sorry, are you a resident?
LAPD detectives. We're here to speak to Henry Arnett.
Oh, Mr. Arnett? Apartment 30. You can take the lift.
Thank you. What now?
Arnett is in 30, Cole. Let's pay him a visit.
Please, detective, if this is police business, I'd rather not involve myself.
Well, isn't this just nice and awkward?
Stop!
LAPD!
Don't kill him, Cole. This guy's our case. Go on.
Put your hands in the air! Give it up, LAPD!
Looks like he got you good, Phelps.
Yeah, he really packs a wallop. How did I get back here?
Under your own steam, miraculously. You came in through the window, said hello, and then keeled over.
How was Arnett?
He's coming round, too. He's all hopped up. Good time to get some answers.
You missing something, Henry?
You won't let me leave until we've finished this, detective, so you'd best get on with it. You won't let me leave until we've finished this, detective, so you'd best get on with it.
Nothing significant.
You told Heather you're honeymooning without her? Help me out.
Take a look through his things. See what else this snake is hiding.
Vacheron Constantine. That's an extremely expensive watch, Henry.
A graduation present from my parents.
Any ideas?
Get his story. Let's see Henry talk his way out of this with Heather in the room.
We know all about the jewelry ring. You and Randall and LeBlanc and Willie doing the legwork.
I'm in the fashion business.
You're lying, Henry.
How can you prove that I'm involved, detective?
Looks like I was mistaken. Miss Swanson might be gullible enough to believe your story, Arnett, but I'm not buying. You're involved in a burglary scam, and so was Julia Randall.
I'm a legitimate businessman. I can't speak for Julia.
Why did Reed and LeBlanc kill Julia Randall?
I wanted to stop, to get out of that life. I was going to marry Heather if she'd have me. Julia told the others that they were out, that she was going to create a new gang.
You're lying, Arnett. I think you ordered them to kill her. It was made to look like suicide, and when the coroner saw through that, you knew it was time to run.
I told you I was involved in the burglaries. I had nothing to do with Julia's death. Why would I need to run?
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out. You wanted Julia Randall out of your life.
Why would he want that? Julia was our friend.
Julia was his hump, sweetheart. They were the Bonnie and Clyde of society burglars. He met you and realized he didn't have to steal anymore. He could just mooch from you. He needed Julia out of the way.
Julia was insatiable. She didn't care about anyone, not the least me. She was never going to go back to the poverty she came from. I wanted it to stop.
Who is Henderson, and what is his involvement?
Tell them what you know, Henry. I'll stand by you if you'll only tell the truth.
There is no Henderson.
Tell me about your first burglary, and don't lie.
I can't remember. I don't keep a list of these things.
Sorry. My mistake. Give it up, Arnett. You're facing the gas chamber. Give the judge some reason to commute.
You still don't get it, do you? Julia entrapped everyone. She was so beautiful and so goddamn cold.
Henry Arnett, you are under arrest for burglary and for the murder of Julia Randall.
Henderson is Stoneman, all right? I'm not the guy you want. Go talk to the good doctor.
Oh, we will, knucklehead. Meanwhile, we're fitting you for convict stripes.
So what next?
Stoneman lied to us. It's time we had another talk with him.
Someone ought to take him home. He's loaded.
You can drive.
guess the wedding's off.
He only robbed her mother and killed her best friend. Cut the guy some slack.
So how does the doctor fit in?
That's what we're about to find out. Maybe we should ask him to give you a quick once-over. That meathead gave you one hell of a pasting.
I've had worse.
You should have seen yourself staggering back in there like a drunken sailor.
Next time you can take the runner, Roy.
I didn't box in the Marines, though, did I?
I should have never told you that.
Tears in my dream.
What do you think?
Tell the receptionist that we'll need her boss, and not to interfere.
I'm waiting, Roy.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Get a move on, Roy. Hoo-ah!
Time for the doctor to give us something to make this all better.
Hang on a moment, sister. Tell him it's Henry Arnett, and tell him it's urgent.
I can't do that.
Tell him, or I'll charge you with obstruction of justice.
Doctor, I'm afraid Mr. Arnett is here to see you, and he says it's urgent.
Send him in. I told you never to come.
Tell us the truth, Doctor.
I'm so glad you came. Prison will be better than insanity, and I'm already half insane with grief. Do you know that I loved her? I ruined my life for her, and yet I still love her.
Will you testify in court that Arnett and Randall did these robberies?
They organized the robberies. Julie would get the names of the guests attending my wife's parties. Didn't matter how much money I showered upon her, it was never enough. She never really cared for me.
Doctor, I'm afraid you're under arrest.
The practice. You'll call Dr. Gerard. No. Please don't cry. I want to see no one. Not my wife or my children, nor my friends. And I don't want a lawyer. Just lock me up and throw away the key. What have I done?
Didn't see that coming.
I'm at a loss.
Call this in, Cole. Maybe you should ask for a street sweeper.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
I need an ambulance and the coroner immediately to the offices of Dr. Harold Stoneman, 1646 Ivor Street, Hollywood.
En route, Detective. You have a message. Detective Bukowski says the suspect is named Wilson Willie the Wolf Reed, former wrestler. Last known address is an apartment building at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. Detective Bukowski says to meet them there.
On our way. We have an address for the runner.
Let's try and wrap this up then.
Advice?
We have Reed's address. Let's roll on it.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
We have Reed's address. Let's roll on it. That old boy really fell for that broad.
She was incredibly beautiful, Roy.
Would you throw it all away for a woman?
Life has a way of making you pay for your pride.
You're quite the romantic, Phelps. Stick with the percentages. Broken hearts are for chumps.
You're talking from experience?
I certainly am. Oh, I like women as much as the next guy. As long as they're in their place and doing what they're told.
Thank God I didn't park there.
What now?
We have Reed's address. Let's roll on it.
This is a crime scene. All of you move along. This is a secure area. You all need to leave.
Isn't that the cop who won a medal and is solving all the cases?
He's around here somewhere. A big guy. Neighbors say he always wears basketball shoes and a cream jacket. And get this, the kids around here say he plays the harmonica.
Find the game well and have the commander set up a dragnet. We want the area closed off. We'll take this out of the street.
A harmonica playing wrestler. That's a weird one. Think he knits as well?
Just keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. We don't want him to bolt on us.
Come on, Phelps. Even Roy looks like he's working. Get on with it.
Advice?
Son of a bitch is around here somewhere. We better search the block.
I'm waiting, Roy.
All right, all right.
Roy, we're in a hurry.
Wait. Pull. You hear that?
I'm at a loss.
Son of a bitch is around here somewhere. We better search the block. Wilson Reed, LAPD, give yourself up. Hold it. He's got to be around here somewhere. No place to go unless he grew wings. There he is! Waste the son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch really picked a spot for it up here, didn't he? Julia Randall's folks are flying in from New York tomorrow to claim the body. I saw her on the slab. So perfect. Looked like she was made of porcelain. She really made an impression on me.
Julia had that impact on a lot of men.
Christ, it's cold. You guys did good work here today. Roy, I think you should buy your brother officers a drink.
Do you now? That's very generous of you, Lieutenant.
We're being overrun. We have to get off of this hill.
That's one of our 50 cows still firing, Cole. The 22nd are still fighting.
It's over, Cole. Looks like you're one of the lucky ones.
Say goodbye to your friend Hank, Jack.
He was your friend too, Cole. Is this how you're going to leave him? Are you wounded?
Not a scratch, Kelso.
Well, get up and get out of that fucking hole! Find a stretcher while you're at it so we can get him out of here.
Who's the senior officer here?
I guess that's you, Cole.
You were up here all night?
Yes, sir.
And your command?
Gone, sir.
Sorry to hear that, son. God damn it, we have beaten these bastards back. It's the beginning of the end, and it was one here. You're a goddamn hero, son. What's your name?
Lieutenant Phelps, sir.
I'm recommending you for the Silver Star and promoting you to first lieutenant.